All right, an update now to a story that we've been following for you. No one else is talking about this, but we are. Have you ever looked up at the sky and noticed exhaust trails spread out in all different directions? The media want the public to believe that this is all made up, that weather engineering, or chemtrails, as they are commonly called, are just some conspiracy theory, to the point where when you Google this, the very first thing that appears is a Wikipedia page titled Chemtrail Conspiracy Theory. It's a conspiracy theory, apparently. But if it really is just a conspiracy, then why have multiple states passed laws banning it? Florida passed a bill banning all-weather engineering over the skies just a month ago. And when Tennessee passed a similar bill over the summer, the state was mocked by the legacy media. NBC running this headline: Tennessee lawmakers vote to ban geoengineering with allusions to chemtrails conspiracy theory. It's always a conspiracy theory. So many people have noticed these mysterious lines in the sky, but very few people are talking about the possibility that our own government is doing this, that they are poisoning the air that we breathe every day without our consent, all in the name of climate change, preventing global warming to reflect the sun's rays back into space, cancer-causing chemicals in some cases, including aluminum and bromium, and other chemicals sprayed into the upper stratosphere to manipulate weather. And it could be happening all over the world. Joining us now for more, our next guest is the lead researcher and administrator of Geoengineering Watch, Dane Winnington. It's great to have you on, Dane. Appreciate you being here. So we've all seen the lines in the sky. We've been told that it's just exhaust from planes. What are we seeing up there? What's really going on?
You're seeing a sprayed particulate dispersion. It's not jet exhaust. It's not from the jet fuel. And unfortunately, that narrative is just a regurgitated official denial that's happening in too many circles, including at the very top. This is a sprayed particulate dispersion. We're not guessing. Geoengineeringwatch.org, at the cost of well into six figures, took a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration flying lab, top scientists in it to altitude, sampled what these heavy aircraft were emitting, processed that at Rensselaer Polytechnic in New York, world-renowned lab, found what we knew we'd find, climate engineering elements. And we also have up-close film footage of these aircraft at altitude, nozzles visible, turning on and off. It's not condensation. It's not jet exhaust. And that picture you see up right there from an air show, that's a dispersion as well. That's what planes use at air shows to make the patterns they make. It's not jet exhaust. It's not condensation. It's a sprayed dispersion.
Okay, how long has this been going on, and who is responsible for this? Who is doing this, in your opinion?
We have multiple government agencies involved. I'm not guessing, again, on that point either. We have mountains of documents. One 800-page Senate document going back to 1978 outlines intergovernmental cooperation, about 10 or 12 agencies, federal agencies. They're all compartmentalized. But ultimately, all roads lead back to those who print the money. They control militaries, they control elected officials in too many cases. But the bottom line is, this is truly an elephant in the sky that people can't decipher, that something is obviously going on. And we have the entire global climate science community describing exactly what we see in our skies that they want to do, to put jet aircraft in the sky to spray light scattering particles. They say to slow down the warming of the planet, but in fact, we know these operations are further fueling the climate problems, not mitigating them.
Okay. According to the EPA website we checked today, the federal government is not aware of there ever being a contrail intentionally formed over the United States for the purpose of geoengineering or weather modification. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that is absolutely mind-numbing denial, deception, and why would we expect otherwise? In this document I just described a moment ago, 1978, your listeners can look at this at geoengineeringwatch.org. That is our site. We're the largest site in the world in this subject, non-political. In that document, it describes intergovernmental cooperation again, and it describes total blanket legal immunity for anyone and everyone involved. They're never going to admit to this issue. And again, we have, going back to 1963, we have...
Wait, why aren't they going to admit to this issue? Why wouldn't they admit to this issue?
Because the liability issues are completely incalculable. You're talking about highly toxic particles raining down through the air column with a known endless list of degenerative diseases, neurological.
Okay, well, why is the media, we can all see these lines from time to time in the sky, and they just look bizarre. Why is the media, why are politicians so hesitant to talk about this? I don't get that.
Well, my thanks to Newsmax for your willingness to cover this issue, and that's what sets you apart. So I've had interview requests from New York Times, BBC, USA Today, National Geographic. None of those interviews reached fruition because they got a boot put over their neck because they're not allowed to cover this issue. So thank you for covering it.
Okay, no, we're happy to do it. Let me play you a soundbite. We had the EPA Commissioner, Administrator Lee Zeldin, on the program a month ago, and I asked him about the flooding in Texas, and I was wondering, a company had said they were seeding the clouds at that time, if you remember, in that poor Camp Mystic, all those campers passed away. Take a look at his response. Did cloud seeding or any form of weather manipulation contribute to what happened in Texas?
It's been more questions than answers so far. There's nothing that is confirmed, any confirmed government report that says that the cloud seeding operations caused the flooding that took place.
Okay, and he is supposed to rejoin us on Friday, and I'll ask him that question again. In your opinion, did geoengineering or cloud seeding in some form play a role in what we saw happen in Texas over the summer? And does the government just flat out, do they have the ability to manipulate the weather?
Yes and yes. And about what happened in Texas is not my opinion. We recorded the frequency transmissions that manipulated that storm and held it in place. These are patented processes. And we still have access to those data loops is very surprising. And I want to make clear that the small single-engine aircraft that was shown a few moments ago with the flares on the wings, that is not climate engineering. That is localized, publicized cloud seeding. It's used as a distraction. The company you mentioned about the Texas flooding was Rainmaker, with a 25-year-old CEO who's connected to Peter Thiel, who's connected to Bill Clinton. We have a picture of him cozied up with Bill Clinton. So he's playing the part of distraction. Climate engineering operations compared to localized cloud seeding is an ant to an elephant. So we recorded, this is posted on our site. People can watch the manipulation of that storm in Texas with frequency transmissions. Same with Hurricane Helene, same with Hurricane Harvey. It's all there.
Just quickly, because we've got about 30 seconds. Yeah. Are you afraid that our enemies, adversarial countries to the United States, could be doing this to us, manipulating the weather?
Well, they've all been involved, and our Senate document I just mentioned proved it. Otherwise, adversarial nations cooperating on this issue because of the cross-border ramifications. Okay,
Iran is one of the nations that has accused the United States of stealing their rain. And they've made that claim for years. I believe we've got a screen tear to support that. How do you respond to that?
Again, the fact that geoengineering is effective at cutting off precipitation is inarguable. They're doing the same thing to the U.S. West. So who's the enemy here? Again, I ask people to remember the oath the military took to protect their citizens from all threats, foreign and domestic. Is the U.S. population also an enemy for those who truly control power at this point?
Yeah, we're going to let people decide on their own. Just out of curiosity, I don't think I've asked you, where are these planes taking off from?
Everywhere. Again, there's military bases everywhere.
Military bases, commercial airports?
Even commercial aircraft, we know we're not implicating commercial personnel or pilots, not at all.
Okay.
Commercial aircraft with commercial markings are being used. We have film footage of them dispersing, nozzles visible, turning on and off, period. No debate about that.
All right, Dane Wigington, appreciate you being with us. 2 states, Tennessee and Florida, have passed laws banning this. Several other states are trying to do this right now. Dane, we'll have you back. Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.